Welcome, Middlers, to the Medium in the Middle podcast. My name is Stephanie, and I take you on a journey of self-discovery and spiritual exploration. I am a Reiki master teacher, a spiritual and business mentor, and of course, a psychic medium. And I am here to share my story and help you tap into your extraordinary abilities. Join me every Wednesday as we dive into the realms of intuition, energy healing, and all things mystical. Whether you're a seasoned spiritual seeker or just dipping your toes into the magical waters, this podcast is your go-to source for inspiration, guidance, and a whole lot of lessons and laughter along the way. Let's get started. Hello, Middlers. Welcome to episode 263. My name is Stephanie. I am the medium in the middle, and today we're talking about an illusionist. I went to an illusionist and I was blown away, and I need to talk about it. I need to talk about it. The tricks and the illusions and the mind reading, it has to be mind reading, was just amazing. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, or if you don't know about that kind of stuff, and I didn't know, this episode is for you. So I live in Banff, Alberta, and we have something here called the Banff Center. And the Banff Center is really well known for the film festival that it does every year, but it's an arts and creativity educational institution, and it hosts some really cool events. And honestly, I should be paying more attention to the events that they do, because every event I've ever gone to see up there has always been really good. So I had a friend ask me if I wanted to go to this show, and I just said, yeah, sure. And I didn't really know what it was, and it was called The Lost Things. And then when we got there, I realized I was at like a magic show. So it was Scott Sylvan, and he was launching his show, The Lost Things. And this is not an ad. This is not a sponsor. I just was obsessed with it, and I need to talk about it. And I have a podcast, so I'm going to talk about it. So anyways, it's an event that we went to, and it's called The Lost Things. And I had no idea what it was, but we went with like 6 of our friends. When we went there, half of Banff was there. While we were waiting for them to open the doors, I was joking, like, is this an adult magic show? Like, we all had no idea what to expect. Scott is an illusionist, a mentalist, and a performance artist. And I didn't know what that was. I had like heard of an illusionist before and a mentalist, but I've never seen one. I've never gone to a show or anything. So I will put a giant disclaimer. I am going to be talking about his show in detail. So if you plan on going to his show, don't listen to this episode. He is moving the show to Sydney, the Sydney Opera House, in June. So if you want to see the show, it'll be at the Sydney Opera House in June. But he launched it here in Banff, and I just can't wait to talk about it. So I went in actually very nervous because I didn't know what to expect. I was a little anxious. I was a little nervous. I was also going to try to figure out how he was doing everything, because I was like, well, like I should be able to figure out what he's doing. So when you walked in, you were handed a envelope, and the envelope said, do not open until Scott tells you. And we're all like, okay. So we're all holding this envelope, and we sit down, and I'm like nervous, anxious, and I couldn't figure out why. So he starts, and, you know, he's doing his show, and he kind of is setting the scenes. And then every time that he calls someone up, he does a different kind of trick. And there were some like magic tricks, you know, something's in a box and now it's not in the box, it's in another box. There was sleight of hand stuff. And then there was just what I could only imagine is straight up mind reading. And I was really trying to follow along. I was like, okay, I should be able to get some of this. So, for example, it was all about the lost things. So it was a lot about memories, lost memories of items, peoples, places, things. So he called up someone and he was like, I want you to think of someone. I want you to think about you and this person. I want you to think about something that you've lost. Maybe it's a memory with this person, but you're thinking about this person. Now you're thinking about their first name. Now you're thinking about the first letter of their first name. Now you're thinking about the first letter of their first name. And then I like whispered to my friends, I'm like, R, the first letter is R. And then he has a chalkboard and the person is sitting there with their eyes closed and he writes down the letter R. And I was like, yes. And he's like, okay, now you're focusing on the last letter. Now you're focusing on the last letter of their name. Okay. And then he writes it down. And then he's like, okay, now you're thinking about their whole name. Now you're thinking about their whole name. And he writes down the name Robert. And then he's like, okay. And he's showing the chalkboard to the audience. And he says, what's the name of the person you were thinking about? And the person goes, Robert. And I was like, okay, well, like, yeah, that's like energy and he could be doing that. And, that's still pretty crazy. But like, okay. So then he does another one and he's saying, okay, I want you to think about a memory that you have at your home. I want you to think about your home. I want you to think about the number on your home. When you look at your home, what number do you see? Like, what's the number of your home? And I whispered to my friends, 112. And the answer was 119. And I was like, okay, that was still close. I'm like, I could have said anything. I said 112. He said 119. And I was like, oh, and like by this point I was like on the edge of my seat. Like everything this guy does was incredible. And the way that he chose the people to come up on stage was he took a frisbee and he threw the frisbee into the audience. And if you caught the frisbee, he asked you to come on stage. And no one wanted to go on stage. Like everyone was being very hesitant. No one wanted to go on stage. But he even, at one point, he called up 4 women and it was like, here, throw the frisbee. You shine a light on someone and someone that you don't know. That person, shine a light on someone that you don't know. That person, shine a light on someone that you don't know. You 4 people come up. And then he would have each person sit in a chair and all the other people would shine their light on them. He was like, think of a memory, think of a memory, think of a memory. And the first person came up and he was like, you're thinking about how you lost your wallet today. And the lady was like, yeah. And then the next person was like, oh, you're thinking about your childhood friend named George. She was like, yeah. And then the next person would come up, oh, you're thinking about how you wish that you, like he got all 4 of them perfectly spot on. And I was just sitting there and I was just like, how is he doing this? And then even some of the names that he got, like were just, there was this one child that came up and the child said, I really miss my friend. It was a friend that I had before. It was a friend that I used to play with. And this kid couldn't have been very old. Like maybe they were 10 or 12 years old, but they were talking about this friend that they missed. And he was like, okay, tell me about this friend, but don't tell me their name. So as she's describing her friend, he starts again writing on the chalkboard. And then he shows the chalkboard to the audience and he says, okay, can you tell me your friend's name? And then she goes, oh, their name was Silver. And on the chalkboard, he had written Silver. Silver isn't even a name. Like, it was just so amazing. And then the first trick that he did was he had everyone think of something that they lost. And I couldn't think of anything because I've never lost anything. But anyways, he was like, think of something that you lost. And then again, he threw the frisbee. The first person stood up. I lost a wedding band. Okay, you go find someone in the audience. Okay, what did you lose? I lost a boombox, a radio. Okay, you go find someone else in the audience. And he gave them a flashlight. He was like, take this flashlight and go find 2 other people. So he threw the frisbee to the first girl, gave her the flashlight to find the second person. Then the 2 people took the flashlight to find the third person. The third person says, I lost a sweater. And he said, okay, so you lost a wedding ring, you lost a radio, and you lost a sweater. Come up on stage. They all 3 of them come up on stage. And he said, okay, so I'm talking about how like memories are shared. And I want you to open up that flashlight in your hand and I want you to read what it said. And on the paper in her hand, it said that the 3 most commonly lost things are a ring, a radio, and a sweater. So the entire show was around his iPod. It was about how he got this iPod for his 12th birthday and then he lost the iPod. So another trick that he did, which was just, I still don't know how he did this one. He again threw the frisbee. Whoever caught the frisbee, he handed them an iPod. He said, I want you to turn until you find a song. And I want you to think about a song that you would dance to when you were a small kid. Okay. Okay, picture that song. Now pass the iPod to someone that you don't know. And I want you to turn, and I want you to find a song that reminds you of a place. Okay, find that song, lock it in. Okay, now I want you to pass the iPod to someone else. I want you to think about a song that you would, I forget what the third prompt was. So he had all three of them take the iPod, select a song, and then he looked at each person and he said, okay, I told you to pick a song of something that you would dance to. I don't think it's Britney Spears, but it's probably this. And he said the name and the song exactly. Somewhere else, he's like, oh, it's probably this band, but it's not this song, it's this song. And he got all three songs correct. And it was just like, okay, as he count, like he handed them an iPod and they could scroll. And even two people were like, he's like, okay, do you have a song in your head? And they were like, no. And they said, yes. Oh, wait, no. And they said, okay, well, find a song. And then they scroll. Okay, do you have a song now? Yes, we have a song. Okay, lock it in. So again, some of this could have been magic. Some of this could have been sleight of hand. Some of this could have been, I don't know, but some of it was straight up mind reading. And the first thing that they started with was someone turning the clock and stopping at a random time, and the time was 7:15. So the show goes on and on and on. The whole thing was incredible. At the end of the show, he says, okay, open up the envelopes in your hand. And someone ended up picking a random postcard. The random postcard that they picked was in all of our envelopes. And it was a picture of an iPod. And on the iPod, the time was 7:15, the same time that they selected at the beginning. And anyways, everything on the iPod and everything on that sheet of paper was everything from his show. So the 119, the song was stopped at 119. So the house that had 119, the song was stopped at 119. And I said that I saw 112. On the iPod, the song was 2 minutes and 10 seconds, but it had stopped at 119. So it says 119, 210. So I saw 112. So I was like, okay, I was picking up on some of this stuff. There was like a mom and a dad, and during the show that he had someone write the M and the D. And then just some of the number stuff, he like would take someone's birthday and it would add up to the date that it was today. Guys, if you ever get a chance to go to an illusionist, mentalist, whatever this was, you got to go. I was mind blown. I have to tell you, because then after the end of the show, me and all my friends were just like, our minds were blown. We couldn't even talk. And I was like, I have to come back tomorrow. So the show was 2 days. It was Wednesday night and Thursday night. And we went Wednesday night. And I was like, I have to come back tomorrow. I have to figure this out. So of course I went home, bought tickets for the next day. And I was up till like 1 o'clock in the morning just looking up illusionist. How does it work? How do their tricks work? How do they guess the names? How do they guess the songs? How do they know all this stuff? Are they reading the minds? I was obsessed. And I have to tell you about what happened when I went back the next day. So before I tell you about day 2, I'm going to share some announcements. Reiki trainings. Reiki level 1 is happening May 10th and 11th. It is happening on Mother's Day, but I like to do it every year on Mother's Day because it is a nice treat to either give to yourself or give to your mother. Because it is on Mother's Day, that course doesn't always sell out. So if you want a smaller course, now is your time. Level 1s always sell out, but Mother's Day weekend can be hit or miss. So if you want to learn your Reiki level 1 for Mother's Day, join me on May 10th and 11th. The next Reiki level 2 is May 24th and 25th. And don't forget, the advanced training is on May 3rd. That's coming up in just a few weeks. This is for after your Reiki level 2 course. If you want continued education, if you are ready to work in Reiki and take clients, there is so much more you can know after level 2. This advanced course is designed for you. 3 to 6 months after your level 2 course, any level 2 course, if you want to grow your clientele. Honestly, even if you just want a better understanding of energy and advanced techniques, this course is amazing. I know I'm biased, but I'm really good at courses and I'm really good at teaching Reiki. And this is a really good course. So good that I'm running it twice this year. I usually only run it once a year, but you guys have asked for it more often. So it's live on the 3rd, May 3rd, or it also includes the replay. So if you can't make it live, if you can't stay the whole time, that is okay. The next mediumship practice circle is happening on May 31st, and I am also doing a space clearing 101 workshop on May 31st. Another thing you guys have been asking for, how do you clear spaces? How do you clear spaces? I'm doing a workshop. You don't have to wait till level 2. Come join that. As always, I will leave all the links you need down below in the show notes. Okay, so now it's day 2. We go back. I know what to expect. I'm not as nervous. I'm telling everyone that I see, oh my gosh, I was here yesterday. You guys are going to be blown away. This is an amazing show. I see one of my mentors from a few years ago, and I was like, you're going to love the show. And she said that she was there the day before and she came back because she thought she was manipulating the show. She kept thinking, if this is real, come pick me. If this is real, come pick me. If this is real, come pick me. And he did try to come and pick her. And he kept saying, I have an M name. I have an M name, like a Mary. One of you's name is Mary. I need whoever's Mary to come up into the stage. And she was like, my middle name is Mary, but I didn't tell him that and I didn't get up. She was like, okay, you're real. So we were both so excited. We were pumping up everybody. So we walk in, we get the same envelope, and now we're thinking, is it going to be the same postcard? Because the whole thing was around the postcard. I was like, is it still going to be $7.15? Is it still going to be a ring, a boombox, and a sweater? There has to be some things that are the same and controllable. Like, how does he do this? So the show starts off, it's $7.15. And we're like, okay, we got this. And then the 3 items were glasses, a cat, and a car. The 3 items from the audience. And I was like, like it's all messed up. They didn't say ring. They didn't say a boombox. They didn't say a sweater. But the same thing, when they went up on stage, they read it. And on it, it said glasses, a cat, and a car. We even all laughed. We were like, who loses a car? And it was still on the sheet of paper. He did all the same things with the songs, but it was different songs and it was completely different genres. So it wasn't the same songs as the day before. It wasn't the same memories as the day before. The show was even better because he added in a few new things. And I have to tell you one other trick that he did because it was just amazing. So the whole part of this was about iPods, and he got an iPod and an etch and sketch for his 12th birthday. So the focus was kind of on the iPod, but also on the etch and sketch. So he did a trick where he called up a parent and a kid, and the parent would think of a word and the kid would draw it on the etch and sketch. He did it both days, and both days it was the same word, but it was drawn differently. So I was like, if the etch and sketch had like some type of screen or cover or something, like it would be drawn the same, but no, it was drawn differently. And then on day 1, the back of the etch and sketch, he said, oh, by the way, what's your birthday? And the kid was like, December 28th, 2022. He's like, check the back of the etch and sketch. And the serial number on the back of the etch and sketch, again, that he was holding, said his birthday. And we were all like, what the hell? So the next day when the child is holding the etch and sketch, it's like, there's no way that this kid's birthday is also going to be December 28th, 2002. So she said her birthday, and then he again went back to the memories, and he said, oh, like to her dad, what's one thing about her that, is your favorite thing that you maybe never told her? And the dad goes on about how he loves whitewater rafting with her, and she's his favorite rafting partner, and they have so many good memories, and, it was this really cute moment of the dad telling the daughter. So then he says to the daughter, hey, turn around the etch and sketch. And the day before, it said like month, day, year of the birthday for the serial number. This time it just said like 0926. Like I think it was just the month and the day, but not the year. But it was still her birthday. But it was 4 numbers, not 6. And there was a little note on the back of the etch and sketch. And she opened the note, and the note said, to my favorite kayaking buddy. And we were all just like, what? Like, how did he do that? And the premise was all the same. Like, it was the iPod and it was the 715. It was the song on the iPod. It was the 119. But how we got to each item wasn't exactly the same as the day before. So yes, like the day before, he guessed 119. He said to someone, like, think of your house number. It's 119. The guy said yes. On day 2, he had someone on the front row stand up and he said, what was your house number when you were a kid? And the guy said 119. And we were all like, what? And then another guy said 210. So it was like a lot of like overlap, but not the same thing. Okay, the last thing I have to tell you about to hopefully convince you to go to an illusionist or a mentalist or just go to the shows in your town, because this was so mind-blowing, I could yap about it forever, as I have on this podcast. So one of the tricks that he added on day 2 was, again, it was called The Lost Things. It was all about memories that were lost, things, items, people. And he said, okay, I want you to think about a memory, and I want you to describe it to me. And he says, oh, I remember me and my friends were playing on a playground. Oh, what was the playground like? Oh, it was like this. It was like this. He's like, okay, and what was the weather like? Well, it wasn't too sunny. It was kind of cloudy. It was kind of gray. But it was just like a normal day. He's like, okay, and if you look over, what house number do you see? Oh yeah, we were beside house 57. And, he's just describing him and his friends playing on a playground and house number 57 on kind of a gloomy day. So right before this, he asked him to select a tape from a backpack, and he asked him to select a Polaroid. So he had a few tricks with Polaroid pictures. So he said, oh, okay. He said, can you hand me the tape that you've been holding, the one that you selected from the backpack? So he handed him a tape. He's like, oh, you selected a summertime tape. He's like, so this is a memory of summertime that I had. Let's listen to it. So he puts in the tape into a tape player, and it's his voice playing. He says a date. Oh, it's this date, and I'm playing on the playground with my friends. And it's not a sunny day. It's like a little bit cloudy and gray. And da-da-da-da-da. And when I look over, the house number is 57. He literally repeated on the tape everything this man had just said out loud 2 seconds prior. And we were like, how in the hell did he do that? Okay, one more and then I'll stop talking about this, because I was just, again, so blown away. So he threw the frisbee, he randomly selected a person. He called the person up to the stage. They had to circle a random seat in the audience. They circled the seat. He actually circled 3 seats. So they went up and he was like, ooh, seat 7, 8, 6, 7, 8, 6, 7, 8, 6, 7, 8. Which seat am I going to take? Okay, I'm going to take you, sir. So the guy came up and he said, I want you to think of someone that you really want to connect with, someone that you really wish you could connect with today. Hold your phone out. Okay, check your phone. Did they text you? Oh, they didn't text you. Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to hand you a letter. What does the letter say? And his name was, say, Gareth. The letter said, to Gareth. He's like, is that your name? And he was like, yeah. He's like, open the letter and read it. So the man starts to open the letter and read it. And when a man starts to cry, like he started buckling his knees and he started looking down and he started looking to the side. You could tell this man was crying. And then he said, you don't have to read the letter out loud. Is that who you were hoping to hear from? And the guy was like, yeah. And he said, is that the letter what you were kind of hoping to hear from that person? And the guy was like, yeah. And then he's like, okay, you can either share the letter with the audience or you can go sit down. And the guy was so flustered. He was like, I'm just going to go sit down. It was just so mind-blowing. I could sit here and tell you everything, but the amount of names that he got when he was like, think of this person's name, think of this person's name. And then he wrote it on the chalkboard and he got it right every single time. And yes, sometimes it was a basic name like Matt, but also the one day it was a name like Silver or Roland, not common names. And he got them so spot on. So this is your sign to go to a mentalist, to go to an illusionist, to book the tickets. It was amazing. I've never left a show and bought tickets to return the next night. Honestly, if he had a third night, I would have went again. It was just, your mind was being tricked. You were entertained. You were on the edge of your seat. It was absolutely incredible. Day 2, it was the same postcard as day 1, but again, it was just a little bit different how he got to everything. This man was so quick. He was so on point. I was amazing. And I was like, yes, some of this could be sleight of hand and magic tricks, and some things are controlled, like the 715, and even maybe the etch and sketch was messed with, or who knows. But some of these things were like probability wise, there's no way he could have gotten every single thing right. So my mentor, when I saw her at the start, we were both like, I was going on and on about, wow, he's amazing and this and that and the other thing. And she's like, yeah, Steph. She's like, but remember, this is all he does all day, every day. And he's been doing it for 25 years. And I think that's the point of this, is that it was a 25-year skill perfectly wrapped up into a 1.5 hour show. And we don't see the 25 years of work that this man took. And I just personally believe anyone who's been doing their craft for more than 20 years, they're just so dialed and so amazing at what they do. If you ever have an opportunity to go to someone who's been doing anything for 20 years or more, Reiki, cards, psychic, those are like the best of the best of the best. And they're dialed. They've been doing this for a long time. They know how they work. So just seeing someone master their craft and just perform it so beautifully was amazing. So this was your, advertisement, encouragement to go to an illusionist. Oh my gosh, I was blown away. It was amazing. I would go back again and again and again. This little recap, I hope it was easy to follow along. I know I gave away some of the little secrets and the tips and tricks, but me and all of Banff were texting each other all for the next couple days, being like, how did he do it? Tell us if the postcard is the same the next day. What are the 3 items? How did he do it? How did he do it? And it's fun. It's fun when you get an experience like this that just keeps you on your toes and inspires you. It blows your mind. You're entertained. Wow, 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 wow. I could not say more good things. So again, if you ever have a chance to go to an illusionist or a mentalist, this is now my entire personality, and that's all I want to do. My friends were joking, like, are we going to Sydney next? And I was like, pack your bags. We're going to the Opera House. I need to figure out how he does this. This is amazing. But at the end of the day, it's just that. It's 25 years of practice. It's 25 years of work. Of course, he's amazing. Of course, it was impressive. It's 25 years of mastering a craft. So thanks for coming along that journey with me. I hope you enjoyed that little recap. If you would like to book any appointments with me, all my links are down below in the show notes. As always, I host my appointments in person in Banff, Alberta, and virtually. All the links you need are down below for Reiki courses, level 1, level 2, or advanced, the mediumship practice circle, or the How to Clear a Space 101 workshop. I release new episodes every Wednesday, and I will see you in your ears next week. I hope you have a wonderful week. Go look up an illusionist. Bye, everybody.